Hey guys! I am super excited to bring you another gameplay, and to emphasize— nah, that's fucking weird, man. I hate to do commentaries like that. You know, I like to do commentaries when I'm hyped up, you know, screaming down a microphone, but I like to be myself when I do it. I don't like to make up a voice and, like, you know, go crazy and nuts over something that is so small and emphasize it to make it so big. That sounds so wrong. But hey, man, that's pretty much what YouTube is these days, you know, like, see these big ass YouTubers out there. I don't like to complain. You know, you guys know me. I don't like to complain about others, but sometimes it gets to the point where you sit here, you're browsing around YouTube, and you see these videos pop up with recommendations, and you click on it, and you think, well, man, they're giving you, like, basically, you can say this information to someone in 5 seconds, but yet they make a video about this information and exaggerate about it for 5 minutes and try to get people's attention, which is actually, you know, business perspective is a smart way to make videos and get views, right? Fair enough, props to them, you know. But honestly, if this is the way it's like, you know, the most viewed videos out there on YouTube, then this kind of, yeah, it kind of sucks, man, how YouTube has changed. Because as you know, I'm an old-time YouTuber. Back then, when the gaming community was just starting to get bigger and expanding to the world, you know, it was mainly like this, you know, commentaries, gameplays. There's still a few people doing it still, like, you know, posting gameplays and talking over it about specific topics, and that's fun. In my personal opinion, I like that. But obviously, now the audience has grown to an effect on where, like, you know, they watch specifically, they watch videos for news, information, and like nowadays you see that, you know, bigger YouTubers don't really put just content of themselves. They rather put content of that's already been produced by actual companies from games, such as trailers, teasers, and then provide information that's already been out there on Twitter and then exaggerate over it from the information that's given there from a small text, and, you know, make it bigger for like a whole 5-minute video and just randomly show images. You know, I'm just going on about this, but it is the truth, and this is what it is. And I don't know, maybe it's fine, you know, you never know. Nowadays, people, the way they think and the way they approach videos may not be for entertainment, may just be for getting information. That probably YouTube's changed, you know. There's a lot of websites like Reddit and a lot of other forums which you can receive information as well, and also gather ideas from these kind of information that is provided from these websites, then make videos and put them on YouTube. But as I said, you know, I enjoy making videos, and I thought I'd do a normal commentary over this. I don't necessarily like to do normal commentaries over gameplays because I don't really have nothing much to talk about. But over the recent days of playing a lot of Call of Duty competitive, I do have a lot of things to say and talk about this game and what I think about it so far. But this can be said throughout videos that I make in the future of League play. As most of you know, there's not a lot of people on YouTube that post League play gameplays because, I mean, there's of course there's usual people out there, Optic, and there's other, you know, pro teams who quite often base their channel on competitive stuff like League play and game battles and live streams and stuff. That's only very minimal to that extent, you know, like just from their perspective of it. And, you know, people often like expect YouTubers to be pub stompers, pub stars in sense, and this is the sort of shit that I get when I play League play, when I play game battles. And they're like, oh yeah, G Unit, this guy's a pub star, man. He's gonna have no clue about competitive. And that's a really ignorant remark to make, because obviously competitive is about smart play, obviously making the right decisions at the right time, knowing when to push, knowing when to not, and obviously knowing when to do what with the team and coordinating together. And this is something that I really enjoy doing. And one thing that I notice when I play Call of Duty these days is that, you know, because I've already hit Master Prestige, I don't really have a reason to actually play public games. And, you know, I realize that going for gameplays is not really that fun, because what I notice these days on YouTube is that to get gameplays, all you need is an 8-man support team to, you know, 9-man group and ground war to help you towards getting the orbital VSATs. And of course, playing against bad players, there isn't really any sort of challenge or any sort of fun element to it, because you know that you've got greater gun skill than your opponents, and therefore you're obviously going to get that high score. And now for me, over the years, I've sort of, my interest towards gameplays has decreased, and especially when I started playing Black Ops 2 and took a break throughout Modern Warfare 3 series, which I never, sorry, Modern Warfare 3, which I never really took interest in, because that's a game that I personally disliked. You know, I didn't really like the whole theme towards the specialist and all. There's so much going on in the game, it just completely ruined the fun factor for me of Call of Duty. And so therefore, you know, the meaning of challenge for me wasn't there. and I moved on to another game where I can actually play, and this is completely a different, you know, sort of a game, like type of game. It wasn't based on FPS, it was something else, more strategical, more teamwork needed to actually succeed. You know, MMO basically, you know, that sort of game. And after playing that for about 1.5 years, I realized that, you know, that was really fun. Like, you know, working together, really playing competitively, going for #1 in the world and stuff and whatnot. Doing that was fun, man. And I didn't really have the opportunity of playing Call of Duty to do that. I mean, yeah, that was game battles ever since Call of Duty 4, but like, I played that for a bit. Never really got into it because, honestly, when I play game battles, I'd rather play with people that I know who want to take seriously just like me. You know, friends, and that's the sort of thing that I do now on Black Ops 2. I play with my mates, they're really good players, we coordinate together, we're doing well on game battles, and you know, it's going great. Like, that's the only fun thing, that's the only thing pretty much what I do on Black Ops 2. There's nothing else. Only time I play public games is when nothing much is going on. You know, the casual players are on. There's random mates that love to play public games. Yeah, I'll party up with them, just have fun. You know, that's pretty much it. There's no other reason to play public games unless you're really, really bored and that's the last thing you want to do. But there's obviously alternative options. I would completely not play Call of Duty Black Ops 2 if I don't want to do it. You know, because I wouldn't just play to hop online to go for a gameplay. I've completely stopped doing that after hitting Master Prestige. You know, as I said, man, getting 100 pluses is really, really easy. And you know, people say, well, these high scores take skills. There's so many arguments going on YouTube comments, and sometimes I laugh at these comments. I think to myself, how on earth do these people even think about it? No one thinks outside the box of how people actually achieve these kind of gameplays. There's so many little exploits that people do to achieve these, even if they say they don't reverse boost. I've talked about this so many times, but you know, it is what it is. But other than game battles, I play League play as well. That's another thing that I love doing. And pretty much the people that I know play Black Ops 2 only play League play, and you know, game battles, that is it. You know, game battles is so fun, so intense, competitive. You know, going for the win, that's pretty much what you need to go for. If you don't, you gotta do whatever it takes to do that. And sometimes, yeah, you can mess about when you know you're going against bad players, and there's always going to be bad players in game battles as well, but not as bad as public players, let's say. So yeah, I mean, in this game, I got in a pretty awesome spree around this hardpoint. I forgot to completely talk about this, but you know, there's specific classes that you can use to successfully get good games and be able to get easy kills when you're playing League play and game battles. You know, classes obviously come down to preference. You know, it's all self-explanatory as well if what you want to use. And some people can't really see that, you know, when they play Call of Duty, and that's why this video is out there to help you. But you know, certain attachments is a must, such as stock on assault rifles, as you know. That's pretty much what I use on M8, A1. A lot of people don't like this weapon. You know, it's one of those weapons which are unreliable with its bursts, right? You know, depends on the connection, obviously, but reflex sight is a must, to be honest. And other than that, you can use quick draw if you want. That is if you use dexterity with this, if you play Hardpoint or capture the flag. But when I play this, I tend to use tech mask because a lot of people love to use concussion, but it really depends on the lobby. Also, search and destroy, where I tend to use dead silence with extreme conditioning. Or there's alternative option if you want to get extra concussion or extra nade, you can do that if you want. So sorry, in game battles, I don't think you can use 2 nades. I'm not sure actually. I never really did use 2 nades in game battles, but I know for a fact I use 2 stuns in game battles. With my M8 class, I use obviously reflex. I don't use extreme conditioning. The thing is, you don't really need extreme conditioning in a SND game, right? Because you know, it's mostly conservative gameplay, so you want to sit back, you know, knowing when to push. You don't want to always run about. You got to get your positions and make sure you got that map secured and each point cut off on the map. But anyway, I'll be talking more about this on future commentaries, but sort of blabbering on about most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So 47 kills, 22 deaths. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be bringing out more League play for you guys. If you do enjoy it, as always, feel free to leave a like and let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys soon. Shigero, sign out. Good night, peace, yeah.